Don't make us look
Hey.
small again, okay? Don't do that to us again. But look, one of the things one of the things that I love about this season, and Katori, you talked about this, is that we get to delve even deeper into our characters. It almost feels like they were trying to run away from their past, but in this season, they're really trying to reconcile with their identity. And I wanted to know for all of you, what was something that you were most excited to actually be able to explore with your character in season 2?
Hmm. Most excited. Brandee, go ahead. You look like you got something to say.
I'm over here like, can I say that? You know what? There's a lot of questions that get answered for why Mercedes is who she is, where it comes from. And so I'm very excited for the audience to learn this beautiful and heartbreaking at time story of Mercedes. It literally is giving me chills now just to think about episode 7, which is my favorite. And just so many things that you will learn about every character. You know, episode 5, just wait, just remember this moment, but just the beautiful storylines that are coming through in these stories of each character, that backstory. I'm just really excited because I would ask Katori all the time, like, now where did Mercedes, now what time did she get pregnant? How old was she? You know, all the things, and so many things that you as an audience are wanting to know too. Katori tackles very well, and I think it's beautifully done.
I was excited to get into the history of the Pink. There's so many things that I was aware of from workshopping and just history and just character building things that you do as an actor, because all of us, we build our own backstory. But then you go and you ask Katori a question, and then she pulls out this big old book and she has a whole novel on each of the characters. They're like 55-page dockets on Duffy and 85 pages on Lil Murder. And Elarica, she's like, no, you wouldn't do that. It's like, I don't know, I think I would do that. No, you wouldn't do that because this. And it's like, oh, snap. So to be able to go into that world this season and give more of the meat, and you still want more. Like, I think that this season, it answers so many questions, but it's inevitably going to cause more curiosity.
I will say, picking up the script for this season and seeing that the COVID of it all was a part of our world now, I was excited because we'd all been living it for so long, and the audience are following our characters and feeling very close to them. And so it made sense that we were telling the same story that the world had been going through. And then I go, well, how do these characters that we've known for season 1, how do they exist during the pandemic? We've learned how we do that. I got very close to myself. Like, you have to live with yourself, in your space, and be comfortable with that. And how do these characters survive during the pandemic? How does the Pink survive during the pandemic? And then also, what are these people like in their natural environment? We're seeing all these characters at home, which we didn't really get to see last season. So yeah, I read that and I was like, ooh, people are going to be in their pajamas. What kind of food are they going to be eating? Who's going to starve because they can't cook? All of that kind of stuff. So that was where I was definitely most excited.
I'll go next. I think like in the first season, as far as I see it, Andre's kind of limping towards his goals, like the checklist to his goal. And maybe because his goal wasn't what he really wanted to do. And so this season, as we spoke, I think February or something like that, and getting a glimpse into where Andre goes, it was exciting to understand that he's going to be running towards his goals. And he's inspired by the past, as his past, that we delve into, as much as the future that he sees for Chuckalisa and for himself. So it was an exciting time to jump in and go full throttle. And I think you see that in this season from Andre.
From the first time reading season 2, reading the first script, I knew it was going to be a very exciting arc for Little Murder. I knew from just talking to Katori that it was going to be an incredible opportunity for me to show my range as an artist. And as an artist, you get excited about that when you can have a piece of material that allows you to show everything. And so I'm really grateful for that, for Katori giving me that opportunity. And I'm excited for the world to see the everyman, as I call them, you know, all different parts of themselves and everything about themselves within this one character. And so it's a very dark and scary and funny and exciting journey. And so it's almost like going to a theme park. So, you know, you tell people throw your hands up because it's about to get real crazy this summer. And so, yeah, I'm just excited for y'all to see what we've done. And as far as the music, it's just a whole nother level. So if you enjoy season one's music, season two is really going to have you on your feet, and all the different just things that come with being in this world. I think people can really be excited about it. So, yeah.
I think for this season, I'm really excited to see, yes, what it's like for all of these people at home, what they're doing and how they're handling the pandemic. I'm really, really interested to see that. It was really cool. There are new sets this season, so you get to see inside like of the life of people. So I got to walk into certain people's homes and like, oh my God, this is how Lil Murda is living. Like, this is what his fridge looks like. You get to see Keyshawn and Derek's house this season. I was really excited when I read the script that we get to dive into Keyshawn's backstory. So there was a lot of questions that were answered for me. And I think all of us, we've built a backstory for these people before we got the information that we have this season. And I was very surprised. There were I'm like, I didn't even realize how off I was. I'm like, oh, Keyshawn's from here. And they're like, actually, and I'm like, what? She's living like that. Really, really cool. And I was really excited to see what it's like to go on tour with Lil Murda and see that relationship develop and this really cool brother-sisterly bond that they have. It was so fun, such a joy to work with Alphonse. We have like a really, really we got some good stuff in there. So yeah, really, really excited about this season.
Yeah. You know, Sharonda, just to cap on that, like, you know, sometimes I think you can think about the pandemic in such a heavy and a negative way. And while it does have that weight, I don't feel like watching this season, I don't think that the Pink Posse is going to be going through like any triggering or like, you know, deep darkness. You know, there's the heavy weight that there definitely is that you will see that are things that we all live through. But I also hope and I believe that people will be inspired by the resilience that they see that Autumn has gone through and that Uncle Clifford is going through and Mercedes and Lil Murda and Keyshawn, all of the characters, there's a fight in all of us. And I think sometimes when you think, oh, they're going to talk about the pandemic, that, oh, it's going to be depressing. I don't want to see that. I just got through it. But sometimes, you know how you don't, the same way you don't realize your brilliance until you look back, and they say hindsight is 20/20. I think that this season 2 is putting it right in front of your face so that you can say, hey, we did do that. We dope.
But there are some episodes that are triggering. Like,
well, yeah, I mean,
I have to trigger warning cards in front of some episodes. So, like, and I say that to say, I think as artists, we are here to reflect the truth of what we're all going through. And these past 2 years specifically, particularly for Black folks, there's been a lot of trauma that we have as a community gone through. And for me and the writers, we wanted to just hold up that mirror and be like, we see you, we hear you, and let's all heal together. But it's gonna be like Alphonse said, like, throw your hands up, it's gonna be a roller coaster ride.